Hello, viewer. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on when you're meeting this video. My name is Jenny. You're live on Mother's Council on Marriage. Today, I'll be drawing our attention on something probably we are not really looking into, but it's happening, which is marrying his personality, not his occupation. Marrying his personality, not his occupation. I've heard when people say, make sure you marry this kind. If a doctor comes, if a lawyer, if you know any other profession, a pilot, an engineer, you better marry. I've heard something like that. And I begin to wonder, are we now encouraging our ladies, our daughters, to go marry men because of what they studied in the university or because of who they really are? You know, character is what we are really going to be talking and emphasizing here today. When you look at a man who is an engineer and succeeding in his field, a young single person who is succeeding in his field, and you feel, wow, he's doing fine. And I think as he's doing fine in his profession, he is also going to do well at home. I've seen when people say, when I go to his office, wow, the way he received me, he attended to me, he was just smiling. You know, he took his time, he gave me listening ears, and I was able to, with all the questions I was asking him, he took his time to answer those questions. And I was so surprised that at the end of it all, he was now asking my hands out in marriage. I think I'm privileged to have such a calm, smiling, and intelligent guy. I think I have to follow him. I have to go with him. He is good enough for me. I've heard ladies sit down to discuss such a thing. But I want to make a correction here. I want to use this platform to make a correction. You see, when we meet people in their offices, they are being professional. When you meet someone in his office, it is expected that that person should be professional. If it has to be that that profession needs to give a good listening ear. When you see somebody giving you a good listening ear in his office, he's doing his job. You are his client. And so, a wife and a client, these are two different people. He could be smiling in his office. He could be giving listening ears to his client. He could be, passionate about his job or his profession, over his job or profession. It won't be like that at home. If you choose to go with such a man, let's assume you have seen him and say, okay, he is good to go. He's nice. I could remember there's this particular person I met in my life as I was coming up as a young lady. He was a medical doctor. He was so professional. He took his time to listen to me, to attend to me, very professional, very well. The next time when I came for booking, he took me by hand, went to the lab, told the lab attendant to quickly run my tests, do the tests for me. He went round with me. Now, after going round, should I now sit down as a single lady and conclude in my heart that as nice as this medical doctor was in his office and did his job professionally, he would be that nice at home? That's the mistake we've been doing as young ladies. Probably you have met a guy in the office. looking so receptive, so, giving this listening ear and attention. Ladies love it so much. And you are now attracted by it. I want to remind you that you are just his client in the office. When he takes you home into his life as his wife, you are no longer his client. You are now his wife. And when you become the wife of a man, he will no longer, he won't treat you the way he would treat his client in the office. Probably that listening ear he gave to you was one of the things, the ethics in that office that he needed to do so that his boss or his job, he won't lose his job. And then you now come back home to meet with the personality. You're coming back home to meet reality at home, where probably if it's a man who is not even born again, then you now discover that he will stay back in his office from morning till 12 midnight. I've heard when married women say, my husband goes to work and stays back in his office till 12 midnight. And then he strolls in and sees nothing bad about it. Now, when he comes back home at that time, you might not get his full attention because he's already tired. Even you will be tired of waiting for him. Probably you have so much to discuss with him. When he comes back at that time, you will even be feeling sleepy. You will leave him and you go and sleep. That attention you saw from the office, you saw from outside when you first of all met him, you discovered that that attention might not be there. Those smiles he presented to you when you first saw him in his office, he might not be able to do that at home. Some people go for stars, probably music star, gospel star, any of the stars. You want to marry them because everything is there, the glamour and all of it. But when you come back home, you meet with the personality. You meet with the personality. You meet with the reality. Probably this star or this person you met from outside was so nice to you. At home, it could be greedy. And so that is the reason we have to look at the personality of a man through the leading of the Holy Spirit. The personality of a man through the leading of the Holy Spirit. Not what we see in the physical. Not how receptive. Not how, how generous he must have presented himself from the beginning. I pray that God will give you understanding. I pray that as you've listened to me till this period, to the end of the video, I pray that God will give you understanding, that you no longer be overwhelmed or overcarried by the first presentation of anybody outside. You have to put your knee down and allow the Lord to minister to you to minister to your heart about that person. And I think you will make the right decision. Thank you for listening to this video to the end, and God bless. I'd like you to share, subscribe, and call your friends to come and watch with you. Thank you, and God bless.